Hi everyone, it's Claire here. Today we're going to look at downward facing dog, or Adho Mukha in Sanskrit. Downward facing dog is a back bending posture that's actually quite difficult because it requires both flexibility and strength. So let's demonstrate. We're going to start sitting down, lying on your mat. Okay. So from this position, lots of people just extend their arms like this, and we don't want to do this because it compresses your lower back by putting all the pressure onto your lumbar spine, and this is bad for your vertebrae. So what we want to do instead is we're going to start with the tops of the feet firmly planted onto the ground and lift your kneecaps off the ground. So rather than lift my entire leg like this, keep the top of your feet planted. Just the kneecaps are lifted. Okay. Now we're going to move the hands to the level of the rib cage, so just below the chest and above the navel. So from here, I'm going to engage my quadriceps. I'm going to squeeze my elbows into the body and squeeze the pelvic floor and send the hips up. As I straighten my arms, I'm going to send my chest upwards and drop my head back. Okay, so I'm in my upward facing dog now. So in this position, you can notice that only the tops of my feet are planted on the ground. The rest of my leg, so my thighs and my knees and hips, are lifted off the ground. Very good. So in this position here, if you do find that your knees are still on the ground, it can be two things, either a lack of strength or a lack of flexibility. So how do we fix this? If it's a lack of flexibility, what you can do is you can elongate your dog, so move your feet backward a bit so that you find a space to open up while lifting your kneecaps off the ground. If it's a lack of strength, then well, the best thing you can do is keep practicing until you find the strength to go into the full posture. So what you can do from your down dog here is, from here, practice lifting the knees off the ground, opening your chest, rolling your shoulders back, and drop your head. Repeat. Okay. Alright, so now let's look at the transition from chaturanga. Okay, so from your chaturanga, we're going to initiate the movement from the hips, straighten your arms, and I'm going to roll both feet up at the same time, up like this. So we want to initiate the movement from the hip. I'm going to do it again. Initiate the movement from the hip, roll both feet at the same time, open the chest, drop the head. And now into down dog. So lift the hip bone up towards the sky and roll both feet at the same time. Down dog. Okay. So you notice something very important here. So I'm initiating the movement from the tailbone, also known as the hips. So rather than moving the feet one by one, I'm going to start moving from the hip, and that's going to bring both feet and both arms into the movement as well. Alright, well, thanks very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. See you next time.